Hello again, everyone. It's Vince Ford from TradeWinds.com, and this is our update for July 11th, 2017. Let's take a quick look at today's markets. Well, it was an interesting day. It resulted in a fairly flat close overall, but intraday was a lot more exciting. So, we started the day pretty calmly. Then we got some news from the political scene, to do with Donald Trump Jr.'s emails. And the market just, started selling off pretty rapidly. I'll show you the intraday charts in just a second. But by the end of the day, the Dow finished lower by just half a point. But you can see how much lower it was earlier in the session and made it made it all back and then some. So this was actually a positive here for the Dow. The S&P 500 was up just under 2 points. It also was much lower earlier in the session and then rebounded, while the Nasdaq was up 16 and the Russell managed to gain about 4.5 points. Now let's go back to the S&P 500 here and let's go down to, say, a 1-minute chart just so you can appreciate. Now here's the start. Here's Tuesday. Let's open this up. And, we started the day pretty nicely. Back in here, started making our way higher, and then out of nowhere, right around 11 a.m. Eastern, boom, there we go. So can politics or any sort of other news outweigh technicals? Well, from time to time, yes, they can. In the long run, the technicals will always tell you what's going on, but you always have to protect yourself and be aware that anything can happen minute by minute. And, this was a story where nothing really has come out yet. I mean, it hasn't led to anything yet. But if a couple of emails being released here lead to this, imagine what impeachment would do, for example, to the market. So you have to be prepared for this sort of thing. You never know when it's going to happen, but what this is a clear example of is that you have to be ready for anything. And so the way you place your trades, the way you set up your portfolio, the way you need to protect yourself, there's always a need to protect yourself, always. So no matter how strong the bull market is, or no matter how bad the bear market is, always expect that at any point, whether it's just intraday or over a few days or a much longer period, the market can turn very quickly on you. So just like we saw right after that, about 15 minutes later, we just started bouncing and spent the rest of the day going higher. All right. Everything else was slightly higher as well. Let's go back to the daily charts here. And you can see the TLT was slightly higher, about 21 cents. Gold was up about 2.5 points. And even crude had a nice day, up nicely here. About 1.4% higher or so. Now, have a look at Snap. Snap has been dropping since the IPO came out, and we've been talking about the intraday moves here, and it continues to just give beautiful setups intraday. And today, we saw this thing gap big time at the open. And then just these orderly retracements, beautiful tradable retracements along the way. Always keep in mind this downward sloping 20 or upward sloping, but as long as it's sloping in the direction of your trade, this helps you read momentum, and any pullback into that usually leads to a beautiful setup. So continue to keep Snap on your list. I know it's a very inexpensive stock, but this also means that there's very little risk, because any setup that doesn't work out and turns on you only results in a few cents loss. So it's something to keep in mind. If you look at the monthly time frame here, it really tells the story. Since the IPO, this has been a falling knife, and there's no sign of life yet for Snap. All right, that's about it for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you on our next update.